Collins English for Exams. Get ready for IELTS Speaking. Copyright HarperCollins Publishers, 2012. Track 1.
Brother, father, grandfather.
Track 2.
Brother, mother, grandmother.
Track 3. 1. My mother is very kind. She loves everybody. She looks like her sister. They've both got curly hair. My mum is a creative person. She makes things all the time. 2.
I don't have any brothers or sisters. I'm an only child, but I've got 7 aunts. My favourite aunt is called Betty. She's very clever. She's a teacher, and she helps me with my studies.
3.
My uncle is so bossy. He tells me what to do all the time. He is married, and his wife is bossy too. But their son is really funny. He's my favourite cousin. We go to the same college.
Track 4.
My family. Well, we're a big family actually. Our house is large. I've got 5 brothers. Their names are Carlos, Gino, Luca, Alex, and Marco. Carlos is 14, and he's the youngest. He's good-looking and very funny. Marco is 27, and he's the oldest. His wife teaches at my college. Her name is Maria. My mother is an only child, so her family is very small. But my father is from a big family. He has 3 brothers. He looks like his brother, my Uncle Giorgio. They are both bossy, but kind. My uncle has 4 children and 1 cat. Its name is Lola. Tell me about your family.
Track 5.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith. Could you tell me your full name, please? Thank you. Can you show me your identification, please? I'd now like to ask you some questions about yourself. Tell me about your family. What does your father do? How much time do you spend with your family? Are people in your country close to their family? Do you prefer to go out with your family or your friends? Where do you live at the moment?
Track 6.
My father is a doctor. He helps people. He works in a hospital. He's very kind to people.
Track 7. 1.
What do you do?
2.
How would you describe your family?
3.
Who is important to you in your family?
Track 8. 1.
I love using the internet. My brother is at university in England, so I really like chatting online with him. He's very funny. I enjoy playing computer games with my friends. My computer is very important to me.
2.
I study long hours every day, so I don't have much free time. I prefer doing nothing to doing exercise. I don't like going to the gym. It's boring. I enjoy relaxing and reading magazines.
3. It depends. Sometimes I like doing exercise. Sometimes I like going for walks. My favourite thing is going shopping at the weekends. It's relaxing and good fun. Track 9. 1.
I love using the internet.
2.
I really like chatting online with him.
3.
I prefer doing nothing to doing exercise.
4.
I don't like going to the gym.
5. It depends. Sometimes I like going for walks. 6. My favourite thing is going shopping. Track 10.
Now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say before you begin talking. You can make some notes if you wish. Here is a pencil and some paper. I'd like you to describe a newspaper or magazine you enjoy reading. You should say what kind of newspaper or magazine it is, which parts of it you read, when and where you read it, and explain why you enjoy reading it.
Track 11. I enjoy reading a magazine called Fab Football. It is about sport, of course, and it's my favourite sport. I love watching football from different countries, and I love reading about it. The magazine's got lots of good information. I don't like reading the letters or adverts. I prefer reading the interviews with famous players or the news. I read Fab Football every weekend. I buy it on Saturday morning and go home and read. I enjoy meeting friends and reading the magazine together. I don't mind sharing it. We like chatting about the news, the players. It's very interesting. Track 12.
Now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say before you begin talking. You can make some notes if you wish. Here is a pencil and some paper. I'd like you to describe an activity that you like doing. You should say what activity it is, when and where you do it, who you like doing it with, and explain why you enjoy doing it.
Track 13.
Last year, I travelled to Rio and visited my cousin and his family. My best friend went too. We went to my cousin's house and we had a delicious traditional meal. After we ate dinner, we walked to the city centre. When we saw the carnival, it was very exciting. We danced and sang. We watched the parade. It was fun, but we were very tired. Then we visited another city and stayed at a famous hotel, but it wasn't very nice. We stayed for 2 days, then we went home. It was a special trip for me because I travelled without my parents for the first time.
Track 14.
Danced, watched. Stayed. travelled. Id. Hated. Visited.
Track 15. 1. Liked. 2. Loved. 3. Started. 4. Studied. 5. Walked. 6. Wanted. Track 16.
1. Is it important for a country to have festivals? 2. Are friends more important than family?
Track 17.
What is an important festival in your country? What are your favourite parts of this festival? How have special occasions, such as weddings, changed in your country? Do you think special occasions and festivals are important for a society?
Track 18. 1.
I don't like reading magazines.
2.
I really like going to the gym.
3. My favourite thing is chatting online. Track 19.
1 syllable. Beach. Bridge. Park. 2 syllables. Cafe. Hotel. River. 3 syllables. Factory. Gallery. Skyscraper. Theatre.
Track 20.
Cafe. Hotel. River. Factory. Gallery. Skyscraper. Theatre.
Track 21. There is a museum, yes. It's very famous. Culture is important to my city, so there are lots of tourist attractions such as galleries, tours, theatres, that sort of thing. There's lots of traffic in the centre. Everybody has a car. There are some shopping malls, which is good because I love going shopping with my friends. There are always lots of people in the malls. And there are some traditional food markets. You can buy lots of strange food there. There isn't a beach, but it doesn't matter. And there aren't any harbours. One problem is that there isn't any accommodation for students. It's very difficult to study here. Track 22. Yes, I like the capital city. I like this very much. I live in the capital city. I know it very well. It is in the north of my country. It is very nice. It's got lots of business and lots of tourists. There's a beach in the city and you can see mountains. People shop in the city and people work in the city. I like it because it's my hometown. It is clean. It is modern. I like living there. Track 23. A.
I'm a student. I'm studying business.
B.
In my country, I see my family every day. We all live together. In London, it is impossible. I see my uncle sometimes.
C.
There are many jobs. People can work in factories, schools or offices. There are lots of international businesses too.
D.
The subject is very interesting. I want a good job in my country, and I can get a promotion with this qualification. The exams are difficult, but I'm improving.
E.
It's okay. It's the same as other countries, I think.
F.
Beijing is in the north of China.
G.
No, there is a problem with traffic. The roads are always busy and pollution is bad.
Track 24. 1.
I enjoy listening to a program called Fashion Today. It's a documentary series. It's about clothes and the fashion industry. It's presented by different models each week. I like learning about the different fashions.
2.
In my country, reality TV shows are very popular. My favourite show is Hello Hotel. The participants are famous people. They work in the hotel. The thing I like best is the hotel manager. He's always angry.
3. I often watch a drama series called Patrol. It's set in London. It stars some famous actors. It's about the police. It's very exciting. I think it's good entertainment. Track 25.
Ooh, monsoon. Ow, now. Summer. A, favourite. Or, stormy. O, cold.
Track 26.
April. Autumn. Drought. Humid. June. Month. November. Outside. Rainy. Snowy. Stormy. Sunny.
Track 27.
Ooh, humid. June. Ow, drought. Outside. Month. Sunny. A, April. Rainy. Or, autumn. Stormy. O, November. Snowy.
Track 28. 1.
You can go to the beach in the summer.
2.
You can't do anything when the weather is very hot.
3.
You can't play tennis outside when it's rainy.
4.
The rainy season can last for weeks.
5.
You can't go skiing in hot and dry climates.
6.
The weather can change quickly in the mountains.
Track 29. 1.
How many seasons does your country have?
My country has 4 seasons. 2.
What's your favourite season of the year?
Summer. This is my favorite season. 3.
How do rainy days make you feel?
I feel very sad on rainy days. 4.
What do you like doing when it's hot?
I like going to the beach. Track 30. 1.
I'm studying medicine. It's hard work and there are lots of lectures, but I enjoy helping people. I'm in my first year and I'd like to be a doctor.
2.
I'm doing a business studies course. It's about the different parts of a business, like finance, people, or marketing. It's really interesting. I'd like to be a company director.
3. I'm studying law. It's about the legal system in different countries. I think it's a very difficult course and there are lots of deadlines. I'd like to be a lawyer. Track 31.
Business. 2 syllables. Business.
Literature. 3 syllables. Literature.
Mathematics. 4 syllables. Mathematics.
University. 5 syllables. University.
Track 32.
Chemistry. College. Deadline.
Engineering. Graduate. Graduation.
History. Lecture. Medicine.
Presentation. Project. Timetable.
Track 33. 1.
Business. College. Deadline. Lecture. Project.
2.
Literature. Chemistry. Graduate. History. Medicine. Timetable.
3.
Mathematics. Engineering. Graduation. Presentation.
4.
University.
Track 34. 1. Marcel. I'm revising for an exam. It's my final year and I'm working very hard. I'm having extra tuition and my grades are improving. 2. D.
I'm visiting my brother at college. He's living in halls this year and he's having a great time. I'm helping him with his coursework this semester and we're preparing a presentation at the moment.
3. Lara.
I'm thinking about doing another course next year. I'm applying for a scholarship at a university in my hometown, and I'm filling out the application form now.
Track 35. Yes, they are. My father and my brother studied law at university and they think it's a very nice subject. My mother thinks it is nice and always asks me questions about law. I have lots of friends on the course and we want to get a nice job when we graduate. Track 36. Yes, they are. My father and my brother studied law at university and they think it is a very important subject. My mother thinks it is interesting and always asks me questions about law. I have lots of friends on the course and we want to get a good job when we graduate. Track 37. 1.
No, I don't think so. Unfortunately, I think lots of changes were made to the education system last year, and teachers and professors aren't happy. They want more money for the schools and universities, but the government can't give them more money.
2.
Yes, definitely. I live with my family. I enjoy living at home because I can relax and just study. For example, my parents cook meals, wash my clothes, and clean my room. I can spend more time studying, and I think this is good.
3. My parents went to a school in my hometown. The school is a very popular one, and they enjoyed it. I went to school in another country, and I didn't like living away from home. My father went to university, but I don't think there were lots of universities in my country at the time. Fortunately, there are lots of universities and colleges there today. I'm visiting different universities at the moment because I'm choosing which course to study next year. Track 38. 1.
What are you studying now?
2.
Why did you choose that subject?
3.
Do you enjoy it?
4.
What is the best thing about studying?
5.
Are there many jobs for you after you finish studying?
Track 39. 1.
Do you think young children enjoy going to school and learning?
2.
Is it a good idea to live with your family when you are studying?
3.
Compare your experience of education to your parents' generation.
4.
Many people think there are benefits to studying in another country. Do you agree?
5.
Do you think your country has a good education system?
Track 40. 1. I'm a police officer and I work different shifts each week. My job is to keep people safe. 2.
I work for a national newspaper. I interview people and write articles. I'm a journalist.
3.
I help my patients every day. I work in a hospital and I'm a nurse.
4. I work as a volunteer. I work with animals and I have to look after them every day. 5.
I'm a businessman and I work in the city. I work with different companies and I make lots of money.
6.
I work in a school and my job is to help students pass exams. I'm a teacher.
Track 41. A.
I had a part-time job at the company and I really enjoyed it. My boss and my colleagues were professional but very friendly. I applied for a full-time job in my final year at university and I got it. The job is well paid, so I'm earning a good salary. And I also travel to lots of different countries. It's an exciting job.
B.
I work as a personal assistant at a very well-known company. I love my job. I got my job last year. I worked here as a volunteer to get work experience. I really enjoyed it, so I wrote to the company director and asked for a job. I use my languages regularly, and I work flexible hours.
C.
2 years ago, I worked as a volunteer in a hospital because I wanted to help people. I went to university, but I worked at the hospital each summer. I didn't want to travel the world, so I applied for the job. Now I'm earning a good salary, and it's my dream job.
Track 42.
What do you do?
I'm a manager. I work for a well-known international company, so I often have to travel to different offices around the world.
Did you have to get any qualifications or do any training for your job?
Yes, I did. I had to complete 3 training courses. Thankfully, I didn't have to revise for any exams because the assessment was an interview and giving a presentation.
Do you have to wear a uniform or smart clothes?
I don't have to wear a uniform, but I have to wear a suit to meetings.
Do you have to work long hours?
Yes. At the moment, I need to work hard to complete a project.
What does your job involve?
Well, I have to meet lots of people, but I don't have to speak different languages because we all speak English. I often have to prepare reports or give presentations. Track 43.
That's an interesting question. Let me think. I definitely think that work experience is an important way to learn about a job. I studied business for 3 years and I graduated with honors. Then I got a good job, but it was really hard work and tiring. I suppose that your first job is always difficult. I learned lots in my first year there. But my course did help me. For example, I understood lots of basic points about business and finance. There are pros and cons. Work experience is an excellent way to learn about a job in real life, but education or training gives you time to learn the theories.
Track 44.
That's interesting. Let me see. I think my parents didn't have lots of choices. They worked in their hometown or maybe the capital city. I guess that they wrote letters to apply for jobs advertised in the local newspaper. I don't think my parents' generation usually travelled for work. I'm not sure, but I can apply for jobs anywhere in the world. I look for jobs online and email application forms from my laptop, so I think it's easy for my generation. There are advantages and disadvantages, because today I have lots of different opportunities and it's sometimes difficult to make a decision.
Track 45. 1.
In your opinion, do people work more now than in the past?
2.
Do you think companies need people to travel to an office and work there, or can people work from home?
Track 46. I'm going to go on an activity holiday next month. I'm very excited. I'm going to America. I like Americans. I think the people are very friendly. I'm going to learn new sports, like basketball and American football. I think both sports are very exciting. I'm also going to take lessons in water sports, but I'm not going to go swimming in the sea because I'm not a very good swimmer. I'm not going to go sightseeing, but I'm going to visit local festivals and I'm going to eat in traditional restaurants. The food is going to be delicious. I'm going to go on day trips because there are some beautiful places in America. Track 47. 1.
I'm going to study in America.
2.
I'm going to study in America.
Track 48. 1. I'm going to visit England. 2. I'm not going to visit Spain. Track 49. 1.
I'm going to stay in a hotel.
2.
I'm not going to take any photos.
3.
I'm going to eat in traditional restaurants.
4.
We're going to visit historical sites.
5.
We're not going to learn a new sport.
6.
We're going to go sightseeing.
Track 50.
Do you have lots of close friends?
Track 51. 1.
Do you think holidays and travelling were more important in the past?
2.
In your opinion, is it a good idea for families to work together?
3.
Many people think there are benefits to studying in another country. Do you agree?
4.
Compare your experience of finding a job to your parents' generation.
Track 52. 1. When was your last holiday? 2. Do you like travelling? Why? Why not? 3. What kinds of places do you like visiting? 4. Is there a country you would like to visit? 5. Do you think tourists enjoy visiting your country? Track 53. 1.
Compare your experience of holidays and travelling with your parents' generation.
2.
Many people think it is a good idea to go on holiday in your own country. Do you agree?
3.
In your opinion, is it important to speak the language of the country you're visiting?
4.
Do you think travelling with friends is a good way to travel?
Track 54. 1.
I'm going to learn new sports. I'd like to go skiing.
2.
I'm not going to go swimming in the sea because I can't swim.
3.
I'm going to go sightseeing. There are lots of tourist attractions.
4.
I'm not going to visit local festivals. I think they're boring.
5.
I'm going to eat in traditional restaurants. I enjoy trying new food.
6.
I'm going to take lots of photos because I've got a new camera.
Track 55.
I like doing yoga and playing brain training games. I enjoy doing these activities on my own because I work in a busy, noisy office every day. It's important to relax after a hard day. Yoga makes me feel relaxed, and I think brain training games are good for my mind.
Track 56. Charles. I like playing chess. I spend lots of time playing chess with my father. I think it's good for you. It's good for your mind because it's challenging and you have to think and plan all the time. It's hard. In my opinion, it's important to keep your mind active. Rosa.
A healthy activity I enjoy doing is cooking. I cook every day because I think it's important to have a healthy diet. You shouldn't eat junk food because it's not good for you. I like cooking at home and inviting friends and family for dinner. It makes me feel happy because everybody thinks the food is delicious.
Track 57. 1,
It's good for you.
2,
It isn't good for you.
3,
It's really bad for you.
4,
It's important to stay healthy.
5.
You shouldn't eat junk food.
Track 58. 1,
Compare the differences between sports now and in the past.
2,
In your opinion, do you think relaxing is an important part of being healthy?
3,
How can we encourage young people to be healthy?
Track 59. 1,
Compare the differences between sports now and in the past.
That's interesting. I think it's important to play sports. There are lots of different sports now, and you can learn a new sport wherever you live. Sports people earn a good salary. I think it's a good job. I'd like to be a professional golfer, but there are some boring sports. For example, I don't like watching motor racing.
2,
In your opinion, do you think relaxing is an important part of being healthy?
Definitely. I think relaxing is a very important part of being healthy. We are always busy. We're traveling to work or college, we're meeting friends, we're doing homework. So, in my opinion, I think it's important to slow down and relax. It is good for our bodies and our minds.
3.
How can we encourage young people to be healthy?
That's a difficult question. Let me see. Unfortunately, in my country, young people like playing computer games, and they usually like eating junk food. We should encourage them to play games outdoors. For example, they could go to the beach and do water sports. We should encourage them to learn about food and cook some healthy food with their families. Track 60. 1,
In your opinion, what are the main advantages of children's games?
2,
How can a school help students have healthy lives?
3,
Do you think there is more opportunity to learn sports now than in the past?
Track 61. 1,
What do you like doing in your free time?
2,
Do you enjoy watching sports?
3,
Do you enjoy participating in any sports?
4,
Which sports are most popular in your country?
5.
How much time do you spend on your hobbies?
Track 62. 1,
Compare the differences between sports now and in the past.
2,
In your opinion, do people in your country eat better or worse nowadays?
3,
How can we encourage young people to be healthy?
4,
Do you think a country's government should help people to be healthy?
Track 63.
I remember getting to the airport and feeling really nervous. I had lots of bags, my passport, my currency, and I looked for the check-in desk. Then I couldn't find my ticket, but my mother had it in her bag. My parents came with me to say goodbye. They knew it was an important day for me because I was travelling on my own for the first time. I checked in my luggage, and then I felt very excited.
Track 64. I was very nervous before the national championships. I felt terrified. We travelled to the city the night before, and it was a long and boring journey on the bus. We were all really tired when we woke up the next day. Finally, our match started. I was surprised because some of the players on my team were very relaxed. The opposition were an excellent team and the match was tiring, but thankfully we won. We were all delighted, and I think our manager was satisfied with the result. It was a really exciting event for me. Track 65. 1.
I was very bored at my brother's graduation.
2. I feel really tired at the end of the week. 3.
I was very surprised when I passed all my exams.
4. I felt really excited when I travelled on my own. Track 66.
I think the most important event for a student is graduation day. It is more important than end-of-year exams because you are celebrating the end of university. I think graduates are happier than undergraduates because there are no more exams. Finding a job is more worrying than taking exams.
Track 67. 1. When was your last holiday? 2. What do you do? 3. What do you usually watch on TV? 4. What are you studying now? 5. Why did you choose that subject? Track 68.
I'd like to talk about an enjoyable event I experienced when I was at school. It happened in my senior school, and I was about 15 or 16 years old. There was a story writing competition in the local newspaper, and my teacher said I should enter it. I really enjoyed writing stories and poems, so I wrote a story and I entered the competition. I was very nervous, but thankfully I won. I was really surprised. It was good because I won some money and some books. It made me more confident about studying too. I applied for college after winning the competition. I went to the presentation ceremony in my hometown. I went with my parents and my sister. There were lots of people there and there was a photographer taking photos. It was one of the most exciting days of my life. Finally, it was enjoyable because my parents were very proud and we celebrated with a party at home. I often look at the photo from the competition. I've had the photo on my bookcase for about 6 years. It's very special to me.
Track 69. 1.
Do you come from a large family?
2.
Did you have a favourite teacher at school?
3.
Do you have any hobbies?
4.
Describe your hometown.
5.
What's your experience of travelling to other countries?
Track 70.
I'd like you to describe an important event in your life. You should say what the event was, where and when it took place, who was there at the time, and explain what made it important to you.
Track 71. 1.
Compare how important events, like weddings, have changed compared to your parents' generation.
2.
In your opinion, how should people remember important events from their country's past?
3.
How do schools in your country help pupils prepare for events like sports competitions or end-of-year exams?
4.
Many people think photos are the best way to remember special occasions. Do you agree?
Track 72. 1. One of my favourite possessions is my electric guitar. It was very expensive and it was a birthday present for my 18th birthday. My grandparents gave it to me. It's modern and red and white. I play it every day. I think it's made of wood and plastic. I like it because my grandparents gave it to me and my birthday was a very special day. 2.
One of my favourite possessions is a handbag. It's large, old-fashioned, and it's made of red leather. I love it. It's beautiful. My older sister gave it to me when I graduated. I like it because it reminds me of my graduation, and I use it for carrying all my things.
Track 73. 1.
It's made of leather.
2.
I use it for texting my friends.
3.
I like it because it's unusual.
4.
It's important to me because my father gave it to me.
5.
It reminds me of home.
Track 74. 1.
I've had my mobile for about 3 months.
2. I've owned this guitar since 2002. 3. I've used this laptop for a year. 4.
I've carried this photo in my bag since my graduation.
5.
I've worn this watch for years.
6.
I've wanted a new car since I passed my driving test.
Track 75. 1.
Which country are you from?
2.
Which is the most popular place to go shopping in your hometown?
3.
How often do you shop online?
4.
When did you last buy a present for someone?
5.
What do you like doing when you go out?
Track 76.
I'd like you to describe something you own which is very important to you. You should say what it is and what it looks like, what it is made of, how long you have had it, and explain why it is important to you.
Track 77. 1.
In your opinion, do possessions make people happy?
2.
Compare the important possessions you have with the important possessions your parents have.
3.
Many people think that shopping is a good way to relax. Do you agree?
4.
Is it better to receive a present or to give a present?
Track 78.
Good morning. My name is Katie Green. Can you tell me your full name, please? Thank you. Can I see your identification, please? Thank you. That's fine. Now I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Do you work or are you a student? Do you have a large family? Describe your hometown. What's the weather like in your country? What are some of your hobbies?
Track 79.
Now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand? I'd like you to describe a person who helped you. You should say where you met the person, what relationship this person was to you, what was special about them, and explain how this person helped you. Would you like to help someone in this way?
Track 80.
We've been talking about a person who you admire, and now I'd like to ask you some more general questions about people. Do you think we can learn anything from older generations? Compare the role of the family in today's world to the past. Should we ask our family for help, or should we try being independent? In your opinion, when does a child become an adult?